In a world where the cunning rise and the unaware fall, the gravest threat is not weakness, it is unrecognized stupidity. Today we expose 6 fatal signs of the stupid man, not to insult, but to warn. Because stupidity is not innocent, it raises kingdoms, topples leaders, and ruins lives. If you cannot identify these traits in others and worse, in yourself, you will be outplayed, outmaneuvered, and erased. As Machiavelli observed, a prince who entertains fools becomes one. Every arena, be it court, company, or conversation, contains a single lethal illusion that being nice ensures safety. The stupid man wears niceness like a shield, believing it will protect him from betrayal, cruelty, and ambition's bite. He thinks kindness will be returned, that respect will be reciprocated, that if he lays down his sword, others will too. But this is not how power works. He confuses softness with nobility, but in reality it paints him as easy prey. Look closely. He apologizes for offenses never made, tolerates insults wrapped in velvet, consents to deals that diminish him, and nervously laughs when his lines are crossed. He calls it empathy. The strong call it exposure. He does not understand that uncalculated kindness is not virtue, it is bait. A wise man can be kind, but strategically. He can give, but not bleed. The stupid man gives endlessly, forgives thoughtlessly, and trusts aimlessly. He believes his goodness will inspire change. Instead, it inspires predators. Soon the manipulators flatter him, the opportunists test him, and the narcissists drain him. And still he offers more, hoping virtue alone will earn value. But power isn't granted through goodness. It is taken through presence, precision, and strength. You'll see him offering help unsolicited, saying yes when no burns inside him. Always there, always compliant, trained to believe that goodness guarantees protection. But no one told him the truth. The world doesn't honor kindness, it exploits it. The more he yields, the more he is pressed. The more he gives, the less he is seen. And the more he chases approval, the more he disappears. He has no edge, no defined line, no fire in the eyes. And when the wolves circle, he speaks, as if silence were unbearable. His words spill not from need, but from fear of being unseen. He talks to gain favor, to be accepted, to be known. But in doing so, he transforms into spectacle, a jester among predators. Enter any room with him, and within minutes he's an open book. His beliefs, wounds, ambitions, all poured out to strangers. He thinks this makes him real, but to the cunning it makes him disposable. A man who cannot master his tongue forfeits his power. While the wise observe, the stupid entertain. While the strategic gather data, he performs. His need to impress becomes his downfall. He thinks transparency will earn respect. Instead, it gifts his enemies the very map to dismantle him. He forgets that true power is quiet. The most dangerous man is rarely loud. The one who speaks least often sees the most. But the stupid man gives up his position like a general shouting before battle. His opinions alienate, his emotions invite attack, and his ambitions wake enemies who might have slept. He boasts of victories not yet won, complains about tasks he should master, proclaims loyalty to those who test it. He shares his envy, his wounds, his failures, mistaking exposure for depth. But every word lowers his defenses, and what he calls connection is often ammunition for the cunning. Trust in the hands of the wise is earned, through trial, through fire, over time. But for the stupid, trust is default. He gives it blindly, assumes virtue, believes smiles, and walks right into the jaws of deception. He listens to words, not patterns, forgives before understanding, commits before testing. Loyalty flows from him to those still wearing masks. He doesn't vet character, doesn't provoke to reveal truth, doesn't observe under stress. He simply believes because it feels noble, and that is why he is devoured. Soon he is betrayed, lied to, used, and calls it bad luck. But it wasn't chance, it was negligence. He never examined the hands he shook. He mistook friendliness for loyalty, charisma for honesty. He saw what comforted his ego and convinced himself it was truth. He equates trust with morality. But trust is a transaction, paid for with consistency, time, and resistance. Anything else is not trust. It's blindness, crowned with delusion. The powerful man watches, tests, waits. He offers trust in fragments and studies the reaction. But the stupid man throws keys to untested souls, and then gasps when the door opens to betrayal. He doesn't ask the hard questions, doesn't observe long enough, doesn't imagine that smiling masks might conceal knives, and so he falls, not once but repeatedly. because he never learns. There is a line between wanting respect and needing approval. The former wields influence, the latter bleeds dignity. And the stupid man? He almost always chooses the latter. He will compromise himself to earn affection. He'll betray truth for applause. He will contort into whatever shape earns a smile. He walks into rooms asking without words, "Do you like me?" He agrees to stay safe. He laughs at insults. He praises power he privately resents because he thinks universal approval is armor, but it is a leash. The man who needs praise will dance for it. One compliment makes him loyal. One cold glance breaks him. He becomes a puppet, operated by public opinion. You'll see it in his habits: over-explaining, apologizing unnecessarily, agreeing with crowds that betray his instincts. He believes fitting in outweighs standing out. And so he fades, blends, becomes unremarkable. The people he seeks to impress, they don't respect him, they forget him. Respect is born of contrast, of boundaries, restraint, and mystery. But he has none. He displays himself, thinking vulnerability alone breeds admiration. Instead, he becomes ordinary, replaceable. Powerful men don't chase admiration, they become the reference. But the stupid man chases validation like a child reaching for candy. He cannot handle distance, or rejection, or silence. He'll break himself to be seen. A man ruled by emotion cannot govern his fate. The stupid man reacts, not from strength, but from fragility. His feelings aren't tools, they're chains. Insult him, he explodes. Disappoint him, he collapses. Betray him, he spirals into impotent revenge. He confuses emotional expression with power, but emotion clouds judgment, and in chaos he becomes predictable. He lashes when poked, panics when challenged, rejoices too soon, mourns too loudly, and always reveals himself before the battle begins. Watch him when provoked. He yells, threatens, defends his pride with noise. Watch him fail. He seeks pity, complains, shares his grief publicly, hoping for comfort. But every cry confirms what the strong suspected. He's not built to endure. The wise man learns to wait, to study, to think. But the stupid man moves by mood. Anger drives reckless action. Fear drives retreat. Excitement drives exposure. Emotion should be internal, expressed only with intent, but he cannot contain it. His face betrays every twitch of envy, rage, or despair. His enemies need not guess, they simply observe, and they pull his strings. He never turns inward. He never asks, "What flaw in me allowed this?" He casts blame like confetti on systems, parents, fate, society, but never himself. He believes in plots against him, but the truth is colder. No one's plotting. No one cares. The world is indifferent, but he can't see that, because he clings to victimhood like a shield. He believes others caused his ruin, but his trap was self-made, constructed from bad choices, weak habits, and unchecked emotion. And so he stays imprisoned, because what he will not admit, he cannot fix. He can't grow while denying the need. He can't evolve while seeing himself as flawless. Pain visits him, but teaches nothing. He curses, suffers loudly, demands pity, but never studies his wounds, never weaponizes his lessons, never becomes better. He is allergic to responsibility because responsibility demands change. Change demands effort, and effort threatens comfort, so he says it's not my fault, but refuses to say I failed. That one sentence, I failed because I wasn't good enough, would force evolution. And he knows he lacks the spine, so he attacks those who rise, scorns the disciplined, surrounds himself with cowards, prefers compliments over truth, excuses over accountability. He calls success luck and loyalty betrayal. But deep down, beneath the noise, he knows his greatest enemy is not the world, not fate, not others. It is his own refusal to take responsibility. Now you've seen him. Not the idiot in rags, but the fool in disguise. He thinks himself clever, but exposes his ignorance through every word, every outburst, every excuse. He seeks noise, validation, and distraction, never stillness, never truth. And so, he remains impotent. Machiavelli did not pity such men. He studied them as they crumbled, not by grand errors, but by 1,000 self-betrayals. The refusal to grow, the fear of challenge, the addiction to praise, the allergy to truth. These are not accidents. These are patterns, and they are fatal. If you recognize them in yourself, you stand at a crossroads. One path is painless and leads nowhere. The other is brutal, but births transformation. Most will never take the second road, but the rare few who do become dangerous, feared, respected, unstoppable.